Welcome to Watches and Sneakers, where today I'm going to be doing a beginner's guide into buying your first luxury watch. If you follow this guide, you should at least get your money back, and you might even make a little bit of money on your first watch purchase. Roll intro. Now, why should you listen to my advice? Well, I went from this collection to this collection in less than 3.5 years. I've done that with all my own money. No inheritance, I don't work for my family. I started at the bottom as a builder. I'm still a builder now, and I've created my own company whilst building this collection. So there's a little bit of context for you. Now, if you follow these few steps, I can almost guarantee you that you will at least get your money back from your first watch. If not, you might make a little bit. Not a lot of people can say that for their first luxury watch. Now, the first rule is buy what you like. This shouldn't be a rule, but it has to be a rule, because in this day and age of social media, we are influenced. That's what it's for. There's a reason why there's so many different marketing companies out there. They want us to buy their product. They're pushing it on us. Just find out what you know. Write it down, what you're looking for, what you need in a watch. Write it down, what brands you like. Don't let anyone else influence you, because I've been told many a time that that's a shit watch, that's a shit watch. And guess what? I've made profit on those watches. Why? Because other people like those watches. Just because watch geeks don't, doesn't mean it's not a good watch. I mean, Breitling gets slated all the time. I'm wearing one now, and I'll throw up later on all the Breitlings I've owned. Now go on any watch group, say, oh, I brought Breitling. They'll be like, oh God, it's too shiny, it's too blingy. But we'll go into that in a bit later. This is the first rule, so I won't drag it out. Buy what you like. The second rule, budget. Budget as much money as you can for your first watch, because you might be stuck with it for a bit. You don't want to go short and just crave a bit more. You're always going to go up as high as you can for your first luxury watch. And there's a reason for that. Numbers and maths never lie. It's what I always say, no matter who you are. If you know me, numbers and maths never lie. So let's say your first luxury watch budget is £2,000. Now, I know this is a lot of money, but I advise it to be around the £2,000 mark. Can be a bit less, but around £2,000. Now, the reason for this is you saved up for this watch. This is your first watch. This is your base. So you pay £2,000 for this watch. You've got a freehand watch. Let's say an Omega Seamaster. Well, that's going to need a service probably in the life that you've got it. Now, you know a watchmaker. That's going to cost you £200 to get serviced. If it's gone up 10%, then you've got your money back. So it's gone up £200 since you've had the watch, but the service has taken the money out of that watch. Now, let's say I got a Planet Ocean at a good price for £4,000. Same service cost, my watchmaker would probably do that for £200 as well. That's gone up 10%. So that's gone up to £4,400, and it's cost me £200 for a service. I'm coming out of that watch with an extra £200. And the maths goes on. If you've got a £10,000 watch, 10%, £1,000, £200 service on it, now you're coming out of that with £800 profit. Now, I'm throwing the £200 service cost about. This is for like a freehand watch. This is what I know I can get a watch service for. Now, don't come to me saying, Steve, I bought this Audemars perpetual calendar. It's cost me £1,500 to be serviced. Well, it's gonna. You've got to look into that. Service cost as well. That should be factored into your budget. For your first watch, I would go a freehander. Unless you love chronographs, unless that's your thing, chronographs. but I would go for a freehand watch, because that will do everything. You could wear it to weddings, to the office, swimming usually. Obviously, buy what you want. If you wear dress watches all the time, buy a dress watch. Now the next rule is always buy on a bracelet. Unless it's a Panerai. Panerai is the only exception. There will always be exception to these rules. These are only guides. Like Arnold said, rules are made to be broken. Not the law, but rules. But this is the rule for now. Always buy on a bracelet. Now I don't care if you like this GMT, for instance, but you want it on a strap. You're buying it on a bracelet. Let's take this for example. Let's say you found a good, you've done your research, you found one for £2,000 on eBay. Now you found another one on a strap for 1900. Buy the one on the bracelet. Don't care if you don't like the bracelet. I'll tell you why. Because you can take a bracelet off and add a strap. It's not an issue. Any straps, all different straps from strap makers, loads. But to buy this bracelet for this watch, it's going to set you back about £400 or £500 from Breitling. So if you go to sell this watch, it limits your market as well. So one, if you want a bracelet later on, it's going to cost you and you will not get that money back. Guarantee you that. And two, when you go to sell it, people like to have the bracelets. It's an easier sale. And there's not a lot of price difference in the used market for a bracelet or a strap. So always go bracelet. And once you've got the watch on the bracelet, if you do want to free up a bit of money, normally these watches are about £100 different from a watch to a strap. So you've bought the watch on the bracelet, you hate the bracelet, sell it. On eBay these bracelets go for about £300 to £350. That's money in your pocket. You've already made 10%, over 10%, probably 15% on the watch you just purchased because you got the bracelet. So that's rule number 3. Rule number 4, no vintage. Now I love vintage. You may love vintage. Vintage may be what you want for your first watch. And I know I said in rule 1, buy what you want. What you like, buy. But this is your only watch at the minute. So when you buy your vintage watch, which you've got, and it's got a lovely history, it's got a lovely patina, they go wrong. They may have been running for 40, 50, 60 years. Chances are it's not going to be keeping time too well because you've got it at a bargain. Because this is your first watch, you've done your research, you've got it at a good price. Now if this watch, if a vintage watch has got to be sent off, you're not waiting 4 weeks for it to come back. Your watchmaker has to source the parts. I've got a watch away at the minute that the watchmaker had to find another movement for it just to salvage my watch. And you don't want that for your first watch. If you've got 2 watches, you couldn't care if one goes away. But you're going to miss that watch. So no vintage. Not this time. Now, you've got your budget up together. You know exactly what watch and model you want. You're not buying vintage and you're definitely going to get it on a bracelet if possible. How do you know you're getting a good deal? Well, for your first watch, there's a couple of easy steps because you're not going to buy private. I advise you not to buy private for your first watch because you're going to be in a bit of a rush. You've saved up your money, now you want. Go safe. It will benefit you when you come to sell your first watch as well because usually it will come with a year's guarantee. So how do you know you're getting a good deal? Well, on eBay it's easy. Let's say for instance you want an Omega Seamaster. It's easy, everyone knows what it is. On eBay, type it in. Now in the little search bar there, there's a sold. Slide that across, and now you will see what that watch has been going for. Obviously different conditions, boxes and papers, there'll be different model types, all of you've got to allow, but that will give you a guide for what they're going for on eBay, which will give you like a real world what they're selling for. Because what people ask for their watches compared to what they sell for can be two completely different things. But it's a guide. Don't always use it as, well, one sold for that, I won't buy another one until it's a guide. That one might have been dodgy, there might have been deals going on, people bidding on watches for their friends, you don't know. Just use it as a guide. Other reference points. Watchfinder. We all know Watchfinder are high prices. There's a reason for that though. Because they offer good service. People have experienced bad service. Again, there's always exceptions. I've bought and sold loads. Your watch will turn up like new, and if anything goes wrong, they will honour it. I've got a Moser being fixed with them at the moment. Send it straight back to Moser. No argument. Sometimes service like that is worth a bit extra. So check Watchfinder for prices. Check Chrono24 as well, which is a massive marketplace. Mainly these prices are dealers, and you'll notice it would be a suggested price. So that's your top end. You don't want to be paying more than that, but it gives you a guide. Use all these different areas and even look at Facebook Marketplace. Don't buy from there, not yet. We'll go into this later on. But for your first watch, check as many different reference points, write them down so you've got a rough idea of how much these watches are selling for. Keep an eye on a couple while you're researching this. When you follow them, keep an eye, and if you notice they've been up for a couple of months, then you know you've got room for negotiation, because these dealers, which I advise to buy from a trusted dealer, your first watch, will want a deal. They want their money out of that watch, back in their pockets to move it on. So if a watch has been up for a few months, they're going to want it gone and put it into something else. No good phoning the dealer when they got it in the same day saying I want 10% off, because they're going to be like, I've got it in today. No. So keep an eye on the watches you like. Now, where should you buy from? A dealer. There's many websites. I've used Watchmaster, I've used Watchfinder, I've used Chrono24. Even eBay has dealers. Check on eBay though. They're protected for a buyer mainly, but check on eBay. At the bottom you'll see too good to be true offers. You want to see that seller have loads of feedback, loads of deals, and be an active member for years. That's probably the easiest way if you're comfortable with buying from eBay. If they've been established, if they're a dealer and they've got loads of stock and they've been established for 6 years dealing on eBay, you're going to be covered. You're pretty safe there. And also, find out from other group members what you should be paying. Join some Facebook groups saying, I'm thinking of getting this watch. How much do you think I should be buying it for, sorry? Is there any models in particular, any details I should be looking for? Because again, I'm going to use the Seamaster because it's easy. There's loads. It's been made for what, 20 odd years I should imagine. There's ones with applied logos, there's ones with printed logos, different dials, different indices, different bezels. Go on the groups, find out the little intricacies so you get the exact watch you want, because you're going to be stuck with it. And use other people's knowledge. It's what I do. It's what I've done. Interact with the group. This is only a beginner's guide. I've left out a little bit, and there's a few advanced bits that we will go on to in later videos, because I didn't get to this collection by buying solely off Watchfinder. I finished this video. There's another point. This isn't a rule, this isn't anything. This is important in watches, and that's relationships. Build relationships with other watch collectors, other dealers. Use groups and interact with them. You will grow your knowledge far quicker by asking questions and getting answers on groups from people with experience within models than you will trying to look it up yourself. Now don't keep going on these groups saying, what about this, what about this, what about this. Throw up something. Throw up a picture of a watch that you found and say, I quite like this watch. Are there any watches similar I should be looking for? Ideally I want a dive bezel, or I want a plain bezel, or I want a blue dial. I don't like the numbers. Find something you like the look of and see whether there's any suggestions. I'm not going to recommend any groups because it's all personal taste. You'll probably come across me in a few, and I'll always help anyone out. Anyone that knows me knows they can send me a personal message and I will help them out the best I can. I can be a bit of a knob sometimes on the group, but I'll always help people out if I can. Building relationships in these groups with people that have the same interest as you is one of the best things about this hobby. To learn stuff and grow, and the more you learn, knowledge is power. You'll get to see what watch is fake, why it's fake, where to buy for, what to look out for, and you'll see some models that you might be like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. And you might have had your heart set on one and then completely changed. I found out, I've been doing this for years, and I found a Panerai yesterday that I just glanced over for years, the 719, and I found out the story behind the watch, and now I love it, because sometimes the stories behind the watch make the watch for me. That's personal preference, but it's just a little tip. Build relationships. Now thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a few more of these because I've had loads of experience from a collector's point of view of buying and also selling and other brands, and I haven't noticed anyone on YouTube putting their money where their mouth is. Yes, there's a few dealers and a few channels, they're great, but they're dealers, they're selling you something. I've got nothing to sell. No NATOs, no watches. I'm just giving you more what I've learned over the years, and hopefully that will benefit you so you don't lose any money. Because I want people to enjoy this hobby. I love watches. Anyone that knows me knows how much I love watches, and the more people in this hobby, the better it is for me. Thank you again for watching, and until next time,